What is up, you geezer, blow tie geezers? It is Chris Modern 9 here. So, Chelsea in their first Europa League game of the season have beaten the Greek side PAOK by 1-0 in Greece. Yeah, I guess I'm pretty happy with the result. But before I go ahead and start talking about the game, I would just like to apologise in advance for any kind of wind that you may hear in the background. And there's nothing I can do about that, unfortunately. You know, today has been really, really windy, you know, with Storm Alley and the rest of it. This has been going on like for the last 2 days now. So, yeah, if you can hear a little bit of Storm Alley in the background, there's nothing I can do about that. You know, you just got to put up with it. You know, I am in a cabin right now. Well, I'm not technically in a house, I'm in a cabin. So the microphone may pick something up. I don't know, but oh well. Anyway, let's talk about Chelsea's game tonight against PAOK. Well, I'm happy with the result. I mean, technically, the away match against PAOK was indeed, technically, the hardest game of the group stage. You know, we got the hardest game out of the way. You know, we've got games against Bate Borisov and Molvidi coming up. You know, we should really, really be beating those teams. So it's good to get the really difficult fixture out of the way from the group stage. However, there are things about the game, or there are things even before the game that bothered me. And here's what they are. Let's just get out the bad things about the game, and then we'll sort of like talk about the positives. First of all, before the game had even started, we knew that we didn't have Eden Hazard playing. We knew that we didn't have players like Giroud starting. I knew he was on the bench. We didn't have David Luiz starting. We didn't have Kovacic starting. We didn't have any of those guys. So you'd be thinking, well, maybe Ampadu or maybe Hudson-Odoi might have an opportunity to play in this game. And, well, they weren't even in the starting lineup. They weren't even in the subs bench. And it makes me think, you know, if players like Hudson-Odoi and players like Ampadu can't play against teams like PAOK in the Europa League, then what chance have they got? You know? Sarri needs to be giving everybody a chance. And, well, the fact that they didn't give... Well, Sarri didn't give Hudson-Odoi and Ampadu an opportunity in this game just makes me wonder, are they even going to have a chance at all? Maybe even... Well, I would have probably said Loftus-Cheek, but he did get that injury, didn't he? I think Loftus-Cheek was on the bench and he didn't get a start. So, I mean, you know, that's another player that could have started. But a lot of people will say he was picking up that injury. So, I guess he could be let off for that reason. But, you know, a bit disappointing to not see Hudson-Odoi or Ampadu. But, you know, maybe they'll get an opportunity against, you know, teams like Vidi or Bate Borisov. You know, sorry, hopefully it will give them an opportunity to play. Now, the other negative, or the other, I guess you could say, maybe either a positive or a negative, you tell me, but Alvaro Morata. Now, I've been saying a lot about Alvaro Morata so far this season. There's one thing I'm not going to be taking away from him, and that's the fact that he did try his best. You know, a lot of people will argue, oh, well, yeah, he didn't take his chances, but he did try his best. Yes, he did. He did try his best out there. He gave it everything. But that's besides the point. Your job is a striker. You should be putting away the chances that you had in that game. We could have been 4-0 or 5-0 against PAOK if you'd have taken your chances. And because you didn't take those chances, right at the end of the game, here us Chelsea fans were, worrying that maybe PAOK could have got an equaliser right at the end of the game. Now, if Morata had taken the chances that he had earlier in the game, none of this could have happened. PAOK could have got an equaliser, and then we'd have dropped points. And then, if we'd have had a draw in that game, everybody would have been pointing their fingers at Morata. Now, you know, Morata received the service. You know, he got lots of service. You know, Jorginho, Kante, Barkley. Barkley had a good game, by the way. He really did excel in that game. You know, he was putting really good passes in. So was Jorginho. So was Kante. Kante was solid. Jorginho was solid. Pedro was another one that rued chances as well. There were a few chances that Pedro had, and he even missed as well. So it's not just Morata. Giroud, I think Giroud fared a lot better than Morata did when he came on. You know, what does that tell you about squad selection? What does that tell you about the striker selection? Giroud needs to be starting ahead of Morata. Unless Morata can buck his ideas up, unless Morata can actually take his chances, score goals, and prove to everyone that he can actually cut it, he does not deserve to be in that starting 11 every week. It should be Giroud. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not taking away the fact that Morata tried his best out there. A lot of people will be saying, you know, Morata did his best. He did do his best. It's just he needs to be taking his chances. You know, if he's not taking those chances, if he's not putting the... It's like I'm here with Fernando Torres. Like, Fernando Torres... We were here with Fernando Torres talking about him not taking his chances. You know, every time he was on the pitch, we were wishing Drogba was on the pitch than Torres. Here we are with Morata, and we're wishing that Giroud was on the pitch. You know, it's like deja vu all over again, isn't it? We've got some really tough games coming up. You know, West Ham away, 2 games against Liverpool in the League Cup and in the Premier League. Do I want to be seeing Morata playing in those games? Well, if he's not taking chances like he was doing tonight, I don't know. I really don't know. I want to see Giroud starting. I don't know about you, but I want to see Giroud starting. Now, let's just put the negatives aside from now. Obviously, we did win the game. Let's not take that away. We did actually win the game. We won 1-0. We got 3 points. Let's talk about the positives now. I already mentioned Barkley had a good game. He put some really good passes in. Made some fantastic runs. Zappacosta, I think, had a good game as well. Maybe he put in a bit poor crosses, but Zappacosta was making some really good runs down the right side. Christensen. Now, this is a guy that I need to talk about in great depth. Christensen is a player. Now, I said in the last video, in the video that I talked about in the Chelsea-Cardiff game, that he needs to be starting ahead of David Luiz. This is a perfect example of the fact that Christensen needs to be starting ahead of David Luiz. Christensen is a solid player. He works so well with Rudiger. And later on, when he came on, as Peliquera, he is so solid at the back. I was saying last season that he was literally our best defender last season. And yet he didn't even start. Well, up until now, Sarri wasn't starting him. Now he started against PAOK. He needs to be starting more regularly after this. Drop David Luiz. Please drop David Luiz. I beg you, Sarri. If you know what's good for Chelsea, please drop David Luiz. Put in Christensen. I did say before we have some really tough games coming up against West Ham and Liverpool. We need to be putting in some players like Christensen. Put him alongside Rudiger. Put him alongside Azpilicueta. We will have a solid defence. I guarantee it. We will have a solid defence if we have Christensen at the back. Best defender for Chelsea by far. If we put David Luiz in defence against West Ham, we are going to concede goals. I know we've started the season very well. 6 wins in a row this season, and started off really, really well. But if we want to maintain this, if we want to stop ourselves from conceding very, very cheeky goals, very, silly goals like the one against Cardiff, a couple of goals that we have conceded. I know we've won all of our games so far, but like David needs to not play. Christensen needs to play, But yeah, like I said, solid win. It's just a pity that it wasn't 4 or 5-0. It's just a pity that Morata can't finish. It's just a pity that we've got a £60 million player up front on our books and he can't finish. And it's just I'm not going to take away the fact that he did well. He tried his best out there, but it's your job to put the ball away. And if you're not going to do that, then what's the point in you being on the pitch? You might as well let Giroud be on the pitch and let him get goals. Eden Hazard has been saying, in articles that he works so well with Giroud up front. If that combination works really well, then what the hell has Morata got to do? I feel sorry for him. I really do. I feel sorry for Morata because he tries hard and yet he gets nothing out of it. And I worry that if Giroud gets a hold of that first choice place, he isn't going to come back. What do you think in the comment section down below? What do you think about Morata? What do you think about Giroud? Is Giroud better than Morata at the moment? I think so. I really do. I think Giroud is better than Morata. In terms of finishing and in terms of linking up with the players as well. And also, let's not forget as well, as I said at the beginning of the video as well, Hudson-Odoi and Ampadu. There was a chance here to give them an opportunity to play. And Sarri didn't give them that chance. And, they even travelled with the team as well. They did. Hudson-Odoi and Ampadu both travelled with the team. So why didn't they get given a chance? It baffles me. Ladies and gentlemen, guys, that has been your review of today's game. Thank you very much for watching this video. I don't know how long this has been, but I've said quite a lot. Happy to get a win, nonetheless. Happy to get quite possibly the difficult fixture of the group stage out of the way. After this, it's just probably plain sailing after that. I mean, if we don't get at least 5 more wins out of these last 5 games, I think there's a problem. You know, Molvidi, Bate Borisov, we should be beating these teams, I think. So yeah, let me know what you think about today's game in the comment section down below. And if you're new to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe. And if you're going to do that as well, make sure you subscribe to Chris Marder Games. Damn good channel. You will not regret it if you subscribe to that channel. Great gaming channel. Anyway, guys, until the next video, I shall see you later. Hey door, and peace.